We've had our lunch break. Like this morning was well positioned to like fuel our minds and expand our thought process. And now your bodies have been fed. And so now we're gonna dive deep into how do you actually apply this to the work that you're currently doing so that you can take it back to wherever you are from or work with the communities, because we don't want what is discussed here to stay here, right? So let's do a facilitated conversation. So brief introduction, my name is Katia Powell Laurent. I wear many hats, but my hat with affiliation with MIT is I'm one of the Link faculty members, and I run an undergraduate research group with my colleagues Freddie and also Martha Gray. That being said, also, I have a company called Black Girls Nutrition, and so we develop cultural nutrition solutions. So the foundational element in everything that we do starts off with food justice, right? So if you see me on LinkedIn and I'm talking about maternal health, it's still nutrition, okay? But then also I use policy as a tool. I don't really like policy, but policy is really needed, and that's part of my doctoral studies. So going from theory to actually practice. And so we thought that this would be a great time to have a facilitated discussion because there's a lot of us here, and so let's do this. So this discussion bridges basically the morning's insights and prepares us for the afternoon workshops that are set up. So you have 4 different workshops in the afternoon. I do not know how you're going to make your selection because reading the descriptions, I would want to attend every one of them, but you have to select one, right? And so reflect, discuss, and align around actionable ideas. I also want to set this like foundational element. It's okay if you get uncomfortable, right? Because in that uncomfortableness, if that's a word, that's change, that's growth. We only know what we know. So I'm a Black woman, right? I identify as a Black woman, but I have certain privileges because I'm here with you all. Ergo, other Black women who have a similar experience, we're still different, right? So that being said. So amongst just sitting there and reflecting, what is like one idea or insight from the morning that challenged your thinking or reinforce something that you believe? Just take like about 60 seconds and just think about that. Okay, because I want to make sure that we have enough time to actually discuss. So using it as a foundation, we've already seen a lot of the different the different media sources that were presented with Teresa. Teresa, like some of those, I was just like, really? Like, thank you for sharing those, because many times when we talk about health equities, inequities, injustices, what does that look like in practice, right? And so you see the dark side. I'm pretty sure that most of us have seen some form of media that you're like, really? The facial imaging. And it's not just healthcare. It goes into other industries. So our invitation is to think creatively, take whatever limits that you have off on your mind, like remove those barriers when you're thinking about your responses. So imagine you're designing a headline for whatever media source that you want for tomorrow's news about how humility and that lived experience transformed AI. What would that be? What would it say? What role would you actually play in that? So if you could change one thing about how AI is either developed, deployed, what would it be and why? And so we want to have these So we want to have these focused, intentional discussions so that we have a large group of us. So probably like 3 to 4 people. So I said 2 to 3, but sorry. Okay, 3 to 4 people. So I know that we can do this. So let's just do this real quick. So stand up and create mini circles of 3 to 4 people. Does everyone have their groups? Okay. Oh, it's really important. So when we're dialoguing, actually create the circle so that there's space in the middle so that everybody either like has an equal position, and so that when you're talking, you're dialoguing, looking in the eyes, expressing everything. Okay, so you all are already dialoguing. So quick focus moment, if you could. First things first. When you're in your groups, we want you to introduce yourselves, right? Which you're probably already doing. And then share one thing about why you're here. What motivated you to like spend time that you can never get back? Why now? Why here? So 3 different questions when you're thinking about it, and I'm gonna make sure that this stays up. So you're addressing an actionable change, but from the personal lens, the systems perspective, and actionable change. So from the personal, what biases and equities in AI have you experienced? I know I have. Observed or been concerned about in your field, community or family, loved ones. What role does the lived experience play in creating equitable AI systems? What does an equitable AI system actually look like? What does it feel like, right? From the systems perspective, how can epistemic and cultural humility and/or address these challenges and build a more equitable AI systems? And so going from that part to the actionable change, what practical steps or commitment can you or your organization take to ensure that AI is used to reduce disparities and not to unintentionally reinforce them, or intentionally? I don't know. It's up for discussion. And then how do we ensure that AI is a tool to reduce disparities and not reinforce them, which is probably like the same question. Anyhow, I'm gonna let it go, perfectionist, whatever. All right, so in these, what time? It's okay, it's like 1:02. All right, so time is really flying. 1:20? Okay, so for the next 12 to 15, I'm gonna push it. Let's do 15 minutes, right? I'll let you know when we have like 3 minutes, 2 minutes, etc. Begin to discuss this with your groups, but then also if one person or a few of you could actually collect some of the thoughts that is discussed, there's gonna be opportunity to quickly share, ground set before we go to our workshop. Does that sound like a plan? All right, so do what you do, and then the panelists and faculty, we're gonna circulate in between the different groups. So ready, set, go.
Been pre-designed for me.
So everyone, the time is now that we bring everything to a pause. I don't want to say it's a close because there's still the rest of the day. And so do we have time for like just 1 or 2 shares? Okay, so don't everybody like try to share at the same time, but this is that collective shared back, but shared knowledge. And so please share a few insights or takeaways from your small group discussions, and how do they actually connect with the themes that we've been exploring today? So would anyone like to share? Do we have a mic? Or is this mic or? Okay. Oh, I feel like, okay. Sorry.
So I'll keep it quick. We come from a clinical perspective, and we chose to focus on the physician side of things, but we are also patients in the medical care system as well. We came up with 2 examples that we've witnessed. We have a good international group here, actually. France, Brazil, US. Where were you from again? Sorry, France, exactly. 2 examples we thought about. From my own personal experience in infectious disease, we run into a prior authorization problem all the time. We are specialists in the field. There's other specialists in other fields. And There's algorithms on the back end that predict whether someone should have a drug approved for them or not in this insurance economy that we have now. And it's obstructive to physicians. It takes time. And if we already know clinically that we want to prescribe it, it's indicated, we've already considered, alternative options, it still gets denied. It still requires multiple steps of paperwork submission and finally getting to a point of a quote unquote peer-to-peer where you're not actually going to discuss it with a specialist. You might discuss with a general practitioner, someone who has an MD, never did a residency, things like that. This is one place where I can't see what feature caused that to fail. Maybe all of them are just failing, but we don't know what bias there was for that. Not sure. Another is chest X-ray prediction algorithms. We've noticed when in implementation, the chest X-ray has identified maybe the heart as an opacity in the lungs if they're looking for a pneumonia, a pacemaker. And we don't know why that might have happened. Is it because they were scrunched up and they were rotated because they're a small habitus, or other features that we can't see, right? And we'll never be able to know. And I think this addresses the last question is there's no reporting system in place. It can't be audited because there's no way to know or tell anybody about what happened. And there's no system in place to do anything about it, even if there was. So no one's going to put the model off production, turn it off, reevaluate it, put it back in. It's just already out there. And lastly, the patient will never know. If that happened to me, I would. That would have changed clinical care, I think. If someone had given me antibiotics and I didn't need them, I would want to know that an algorithm predicted something anatomical that's normal as an actual pathology. So those are the things we highlighted.
Thank you for sharing. Would any group on this side like to share? So it's equitable distribution of sharing. Any group?
I think kind of building off what was said over there, we talked about a couple of different examples, but one thing that we were thinking about is trying to endeavor to show people or patients the benefit that they'll get out of AI, and first start by thinking about how will this benefit the patient, but actually giving the results back to them, whatever it is, in a way that they can actually, one, understand, and two, use for their care, like help them do something actionable that is available to them. So I guess that's one of the things we talked about.
Thank you all for sharing. So using that as a foundational element, I'm going to put the mic down because I don't like holding. Okay. You have 4 different workshops. So the discussions, the key points, the things that spark that or how can we want you to use that and select a workshop that works that either challenges or interests you. So we have workshop 1, harnessing humility and systems thinking to shape AI in academic medicine. Workshop 2, we have caring in the age of AI, navigating healthcare challenges and opportunities. Workshop 3, equity by design, advancing AI in healthcare through community engagement, epistemic justice, and policy innovation. And then not last but not least is advancing equity through participatory action.